Apologies for starting the news a bit late. However, we continue with the news. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. We look at the headlines. Home Affairs PS dies. Third Minister tests positive of COVID-19. Pastor describes instigators of political violence as witches. And sports news, Moza FC centre back set to join Lusaka-based Super Division club. Join me shortly for the details.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444-726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
The details. We start our news on a sad note where Home Affairs Permanent Secretary Dr. Chileshe Mulenga has died. Dr. Mulenga, who also served as Eastern Province Permanent Secretary, is said to have collapsed at his residence and pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. Wife to Dr. Mulenga, who is also NGOCC Board Chairperson, Mary Mulenga, has confirmed the death of her husband. And according to a statement issued by Secretary to the Cabinet, Simon Miti, President Edgar Lungu has expressed shock on this sudden sad development. Dr. Miti says Dr. Mulenga was well until Sunday morning when he developed some sudden health complications. The funeral is being held at his residence, plot number 11015 off Monali Road, Lusaka. However, attendance at the funeral house has been restricted to close families in observance of the public health restrictions due to the COVID-19. Dr. Miti says government will issue further details on the funeral programs at a later stage. Moving on, residents of Lusaka have accused Lusaka City Council of abandoning the Keep Zambia Clean and Green and Healthy campaign, going by the uncollected garbage around the city. The residents wonder why the council would neglect such an important venture which borders on cleanliness and the well-being of the people. This is a campaign which has been launched over and over by government. We have the details in this report.
The Lusaka City Council had taken an approach to encourage community participation, ownership and mindset change regarding the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign, which was recently relaunched by the head of state, President Edgar Lungu. But it seems this campaign is slowly becoming a thing of the past in a serious and busy city like Lusaka. Places that were once appealing to look at now look so ancient and unkempt than the actual word itself. After calls by the council to ensure effective community participation in maintaining the city as it offered to render technical assistance, for instance, the garbage collection exercise, citizens have since bemoaned the negligence coming from this office. The citizens have since expressed shock regarding the council being the opposite of what they have been telling people to become. Others have told Camnet TV that the garbage has remained uncollected for as long as one can remember, making it difficult for them to maintain a clean environment as it is blown back after sweeping.
Like when people come to sweep, we've made days from the time COVID started. We put the days of sweeping. There is Tuesday and Friday, Saturdays. We sweep, but when we sweep, we collect all the garbages here. We put there. There was a bin there, but they moved it, those people from council. But when we put there, things fry again, they come back here. So which is our challenge we have. We are talking to council people to say, no, we can put a measure whereby we can bring in your vehicle here to say when early in the morning, like the days I've mentioned, we sweep. When the vehicles come here to collect the cabbages, when we sweep, then the cars collect the cabbages. But that measure is not working. So we've got a challenge over that. So we're asking the council to put a measure whereby they can work with us here in town. As we've got days we sweep in town, but council, we don't cooperate with them.
We don't know what is happening in this council. Here you find in town, in the central business trading area, they are not working. You go to other places. Me, I was in Mumbwa. You find the council in Mumbwa is working. They put the trucks, they are collecting the litter and what. But why is it not here in Lusaka, the town place? Why? Outside Lusaka, people are working. You go to Kafio, you find the markets are clean. But in here, in Lusaka, central business trading area, look at the garbage there. Why?
They further told Camnet TV of the cholera risks that lie ahead and that with the current situation, the fight against it is impossible. Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
Healing Word Ministries overseer Pastor Moses Chilwa is dismayed by the growing trend of political violence in the country. Pastor Chilwa says if left unchecked, this negative vice has the potential to affect the country's peace and security. The man of God said this during the Sunday service ceremony. We have the details in this report.
Political fights seem to become the new normal in Zambia, just like COVID-19. On Friday, Patriotic Front, PF and UPND cadres clashed at Mafken radio station in Mufrila on the Copperbelt, where UPND President Hakainde Hichilema was being featured.
We have no need to fight against each other. When people differ with your opinion, it's not a cause for fighting. And you must understand that there is in the law what is called freedom of expression and also freedom of belonging to where you want. Freedom of association, that's right. Stop bringing and inciting these things.
When PF cadres went to disrupt the programming, UPND supporters moved in to protect the station and its staff, especially that their leader was appearing on the said radio station.
And all of you who were fighting in Mufrila, all of you cadres who are ferried from different towns to go and protect leaders, you lack senses. And I say it without apology. When your mother and father brought you on earth, he did not donate you to pangas. He did not donate you to slaps. He donated you to greatness. And so all of you that are fighting, all of you that are instigating the people to be fighting against each other, you are also witches.
Here is an advice.
Have you ever seen our President Edgar fighting HH? No. They are slapping each other. The people who are enjoying leadership are not fighting. You, who are just waiting for fitenges, are fighting. What kind of nonsense is this?
He ends by calling for peace and unity among political players.
Mwema leaders mule kwata koluse. If you're nanda no kulando kwebati, imwebe ne mwema leaders. Our President, HH, Vakambwili, Vanevas Mumba, Vanawakwi, everybody, mule kwata kwenshita ya kuikalapamu. And laugh together. And eat together. And tell your people, ukwebati fitule nwati, tulelanda na imwe, if you're mulechita, there will be no panga in this nation.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News in Osaka.
The Southern African Center for the Constructive Resolution and Dispute, SACOD, has welcomed the call by President Edgar Lungu to his members not to revenge his recent humiliation in Monze. SACOD Executive Director Boniface Chembe notes that the call for restraint is key in ensuring that leaders contribute to conflict prevention when the situation appears to lead to conflict escalation. Mr. Chembe says violence only breeds violence, adding that drawing political lines will only compound compound the situation much further. He says if the situation is not arrested in the earnest, Zambians would begin to kill each other at any time. Mr. Chembe has since urged PF members countrywide to heed to the president's call to allow peace to reign in Zambia. This is according to a statement made available to Camnet TV by SACOD Executive Director Boniface Chembe.
As SACOD, we welcome the call for restraint by President Edgar Lungu to all members belonging to the ruling Patriotic Front following the incident that transpired in Monze. The call for restraint is key in ensuring that our leaders contribute to conflict prevention in our country, especially when the situation appears to be contributing to conflict escalation. Violence only breeds violence. And if leaders do not call for restraint, the violent communication that the country has witnessed in the last several days, and also through calls for political apartheid by way of declaration of no-go areas, the country would be at risk of having citizens being hurt almost at will. An example is the recent happenings in the Mufulira district on the Copperbelt province of the Republic of Zambia, where there was political violence witnessed between cadres belonging to the ruling party and also opposition, UPND, which of course is unfortunate and regrettable.
Chikankata District Agriculture Coordinator Fanwell Nyimba says the district has started registering farmers for the Farmer Import Support Program. Mr. Nyimba says the process will allow the coordinators of FISIP to identify genuine beneficiaries in time. He notes that farmers under the Farmer Import Support Program are required to deposit 400 kwacha for the government to subsidize imports. Mr. Nyimba says some farmers have already started making payments in preparation for the 2020-2021 farming season.
We are aware where Chikankata belongs to. We are still under e-voucher systems. And that being the case, we'll go back to the issues of us relying on these agro-dealers to supply these inputs finally to the farmers. So far so good. Farmers have been sensitized and they have started actually making their contributions. We are just waiting for the go-ahead to exactly to inform the farmers when exactly we are going to do the deposit. But the farmers, actually our teams are already, they are sensitized farmers that there will be any delivery this year, and we are encouraging the farmers to get ready. Since this is the only time that farmers, in a long period of the time, they do not have money. After selling their inputs, the products, after selling their products, that's when they can have the money to pay for the inputs. So encouraging them to save money because the program have actually started. So we are already on the
You're watching Camnet News. We take a short interesting stories. Stay with us.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. Transport and Communications Minister Mutotwe Kafwaya has tested positive for COVID-19. Mr. Kafwaya becomes the third minister in Zambia to test positive to the disease, which has so far claimed about 48 lives. The minister has confirmed the development to Camnet News in a telephone interview that a swab done on him in Kasama revealed that he was positive to the virus. He has since cautioned Zambians against underplaying the effects of the disease, saying it is real. Mr. Kafwaya has since gone in self-isolation. Other ministers to have tested positive to the virus include Information and Broadcasting Services Minister Dora Silia and Health Minister Dr. Chitalu Chilufya.
I can confirm that I have been advised that I tested positive. I was swabbed in Kasama in hospital because I was hospitalized in Kasama after burying my mother in Sote. And the results came out positive. So as we speak, I'm in self-isolation. Let me just take this opportunity to once again thank all the people who tendered help during the funeral. I think we received a lot of help from a lot of people. I'm deeply indebted to all of you. But also advise that let's keep maintaining the measures, the anti-COVID measures which have been established by government, because as you can see from my own case, that you can actually contract COVID even from a funeral. So it's very important that we keep adhering to all the measures that have been established.
Meanwhile, Ikelengi Member of Parliament Elijah Mchima has wondered why the ruling Patriotic Front members are the ones in the forefront of flaunting the health guidelines in the fight against coronavirus. While in Parliament on Friday, Mr. Mchima asked Zambia's Vice President Inonge Wina why Patriotic Front members are freely holding large gatherings across the country in view of the health guidelines. Mr. Mchima is particularly concerned that while the ruling party is busy holding meetings across the country, those in the opposition are being stopped on account that it is not yet time for large gatherings. In response, the Vice President said receiving defectors is not an issue and should not be linked to COVID-19, stating that people cannot be stopped from defecting and being received.
Among the health guidelines put in place by health authorities in the fight against the coronavirus, which has so far claimed about 48 lives in Zambia, include maintaining social distance and avoid unnecessary gatherings. Zambians have also been advised to limit the number of people gathering at a particular event. In this regard, government made it abundantly clear that weddings, church services and funerals should only see about 50 people coming together. However, ruling Patriotic Front, PF cadres and officials have been seen on several occasions gathering in large numbers. One case in point is a large gathering that escorted the man at the center of the COVID-19 updates, Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, who is health minister at the magistrate court, where he went to attend to his corruption case. A week ago, PF Deputy Secretary General Mumbi Piri was in Ikeleng district of Northwestern Province, where she claimed that about 1,200 UPND members had defected to the PF. Now, this is what has raised questions in the minds of the opposition with regard to observing the health guidelines, as Ikeleng MP Elijah Mchima asked.
I want to find out from Her Honor, the Vice President, whether coronavirus is in two parts. One for the ruling party, PF, and another one for the opposition in regard to holding of public meetings. Last weekend in Ikelengi, by the Deputy Secretary General, led a huge group and held a public meeting where they alleged 1,200 defectors from UPND to PF against the COVID-19 SI, which has been put in place by Minister of Health.
In her response, the Vice President plainly puts it clear that receiving defectors, regardless of the number, is not tantamount to holding a public meeting, adding that that is not an issue.
Receiving defectors, Mr. Speaker, is not conducting a public meeting. Receiving defectors is not a constitutional issue, but it's a social issue. And you cannot stop people defecting from one party to the other.
If it is not an issue, how come then that on the 9th of May 2020, police in Kasama of Northern Province arrested Kefas Walia 47, Elizabeth Chulu 53, the UPND Provincial Vice Treasurer, and Justin Mumbi 46, who is UPND Provincial Youth Chairperson, for receiving defectors at a private property?
Okupokerera ama defectors tatuwakaleke ino nshitano mbabantu n'abakimona makamaka ba PF balefu abalange ubutungulushi bwabo butira n'abafirwa kanshi ikironganiro cyo bamwenefe ni UPND kanshi twakula abapokerera gushekwe no kupokerera ama defectors kuti waba mulandu ivo turamona ko batira ba UPND n'abakisa design bale kita defect okwisa ku PF ushita bapokerera bala bekatama bapokerera takwaba iyo ngavya kirando mu aichi wandi uyu mumbi ino ishita turelanda ba GBM n'abakwata meeting n'aba member wabo abengi sana lero tabale kita observe ne fifi ya COVID-19 regulations mwamona nomba ifo chabipira pesa bushenifira batilati chiwamina galu kuluma mbuzi koma mbuzi kaluma galu akiyai ni mulandu.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Interesting. The Zambia Institute of Independent Media Alliance, ZIMA, is disappointed with the violent conduct being exhibited by the ruling Patriotic Front cadres who are regularly storming radio stations. ZIMA President Jaja Coulibaly says this behavior is uncalled for and Zambian. Mr. Coulibaly's comments comes in the wake of PF cadres who stormed Mafken radio station in Mufulira, which was hosting United Party for National Development President Hakainde Hichilema. The PF has insinuated violent attacks on other media houses across the country featuring the UPND. According to them, this is not time for campaigns, stating that the only message allowed on radio are only those talking about COVID-19 and not political.
One might wonder how many media practitioners today in Zambia work in fear resulting from the continued threats against them. In this regard, one would still wonder if they would work objectively and independently following the many regulations surrounding this particular faction, a concern that has been noted by the Zambia Institute of Independent Media Alliance, ZIMA, as it is disturbed with the recent and ongoing happenings at Mafken Radio, which began on 11th July 2020 in Mufulira. ZIMA President Jaja Coulibaly states that media institutions do not belong to any political party, including those established using taxpayers' money. Mr. Coulibaly, who notes that the move by IBA to reinspect the media house is a clear sign of unprofessionalism, agrees with the Media Liaison Committee, making it clear that appointing non-journalists to run the IBA offices will continue to disadvantage the media.
Of Independent Media Alliance, ZIMA, we are disturbed and concerned by the persistent attacks, media attacks being perpetrated by Patriotic Front PF cadres, with the recent one being in Mufulira at Mafken FM, where even up to now, as we speak, staff, members of staff at the radio station have gone into hiding because they've been receiving threats over their lives.
ZIMA President further calls on all members countrywide to be ready to protect the profession whenever attacked, accusing the police of having failed in their duties.
We are also worried that police has failed to maintain law and order where media attacks are concerned, because those perpetrators are non-party cadres, and up to now no one has been arrested. We are also aware that the Independent Broadcasting Authority has notified Mafken FM that they will be visiting the radio station for inspections. So we also want to know what kind of inspections do the IBA want to conduct at that radio station, because they inspected that radio station just last month. So we want to know. We also want to urge them to stop advancing political agendas. This is why the MLC a fortnight ago did issue a statement to say the continuous appointment of non-journalists to chair the IBA will continue to disadvantage the media, and this has manifested now. So we are concerned as a media body.
Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
Meanwhile, opposition Republican Progressive Party (RPP) has expressed dismay at some media houses bending on covering one-sided stories. RPP President James Lukuku says the media should at all times endeavor to remain impartial in the discharge of their duties, as they represent different views and opinions of different people in society. Details in this report.
One or two people, perhaps millions, may have shunned a media house for what they have termed as biased coverage. Some self-acclaimed critics have asked questions why media coverage among public and private media houses in Zambia are less fair in news coverage. This is a concern by the Republican Progressive Party, RPP.
ZNBC must be there to understand that we are all of us stakeholders in the administration of ZNBC. And it should serve the interest of all stakeholders. ZNBC was not created for the Patriotic Front. It is a public service provider, and it should ensure that all of us, we have got access to ZNBC, so that being a national broadcaster, we use it to disseminate our manifestos, just like the way the Patriotic Front are utilizing ZNBC.
RPP leader James Lukuku bemoans the alleged biased and unfair news coverage by the state-owned media house, ZNBC. Mr. Lukuku, who feels the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation is only there to cover the Patriotic Front PF government, further says it is a bad sign which ought to change before the 2021 general election campaigns.
Otherwise, let them declare that only the Patriotic Front should be paying the 5 kwacha, because it's like we are only covering a news for the first 30 minutes is all about the president and the other agents of the Patriotic Front. That's not how things are supposed to be. And the Electoral Commission of Zambia must come in, because we're talking about fair coverage of political players, which is put in the Electoral Code of Conduct. It's one of the requirements that all political players must be equally covered. So that's the concern that we have. Otherwise, we call for fair coverage by ZNBC so that we are all of us catered for. Thank you so much.
Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
This is Camnet News. We take another break. Join me for international and sports news.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Welcome back. In international news, Mali's President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita has said he has launched an investigation into violence committed during mass anti-government protests on Friday, which saw at least one person killed and 20 others wounded. Thousands rallied in the capital city, Bamako, to demand Keita's resignation over long-running security issues, economic woes, and perceived government corruption in the fragile West African state. The rally was organized by an opposition coalition and is the third such demonstration in 2 months, significantly escalating pressure on the embattled leader. Led by influential scholar Mohamed Diko, the so-called June 5 movement is channeling deep-seated frustrations in the country. The protest was third since June and came after the coalition rejected concessions from Keita's aimed at resolving a month-long political standoff that began after a disputed legislation election in March. But Friday's protest later descended into chaos as demonstrators blocked main thoroughfares, attacked the parliament, and stormed the premises of the state broadcaster while police fired tear gas to disperse them. In sports news, Crawford Mwaba is on the verge of joining a named Zambia Super League side from National Division 1 side Moza FC. Zamford crew understands that the centre-back has been training with a Lusaka-based Super League side for some time now, with the view of securing a move to the named club. Mwaba, who is also no-nonsense defender, was part of the 2019 COSAFA Under-20 winning squad. That news item brings us to the end of our news, but before we go, the headlines once again. I beg your pardon? The headlines once again. Home Affairs PS dies. Third Minister tests positive for COVID-19. Pastor describes instigators of political violence as witches. In international news, Mali's president launches probe after protest turns violent. In sports news, Moza FC centre-back set to join Lusaka-based Super Division club. That's all we could accommodate for you on the news desk. We now look at the Camnet word of the day, and it's coming from the book of Psalms 90 verse 17, and it reads, "And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou art." Thank you so much for joining us on the news desk. Remember to mask up and maintain 1 meter social distancing to avoid the spread of COVID-19. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Thanks for staying with us. Good night.